1. We are live. Welcome to the Black Bear Medicine Show. This is your host, Black Bear, aka C. Walker. Also, I have a special guest, Chief Spirit Wolf, with me today. And what Native nation do you represent? Or
Choctaw, Muskogee, Yamasee Nation.
and you guys are located where, sir?
We're located in California.
Located in California.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you Fed Rec, State Rec?
I would say we're more so state.
State Rec.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have Chief Spirit Wolf with us, and we will continue with it. Osio su dunela, tohiju si dunela, tousti natene, dakote. Que onda la raza? Okay. You want to say anything in any indigenous language?
Oshio. Inshe, Astango, Yaha, Yofika, Chu, Chef Kotos, Uleki Totos, Yofikcho, Topovka, Otolwatos, Anokicha. I said, I'm Spirit Wolf. First, I said, hello, how are you? I said to everyone, my name is Spirit Wolf. My clan is the Wolf Clan. My family's town, or my people's town, is Topovka, which is in Oklahoma. And greetings to you all. Greetings to all. Love to all.
All right, let's jump into our first segment. Montana's Senate candidate accused of making racial charged remarks towards Indians. Tim Shee, the Republican Democrat for the U.S. Senate in Montana, is facing widespread criticism after Flathead Reservation Carcoosta News this week published 4 audio clips in which the candidate appears to be having made racial comments towards Native Americans on the Crow Reservation in Montana. During a November 2023 fundraiser, she spoke about branding and roping cattle on the Crow Reservation alongside his Crow ranching partner, remarking that it was a great way to bond all the Indians being out there while they drank at 8 in the morning. My bad. I'm sorry. I know.
Can you repeat that again? Read that over again, please. Read that again.
Okay.
You're always fixing my camera.
Okay. Which part?
The last what she said.
What he said. Okay. That it was a great way to bond with all the Indians being out there while they were drinking at 8 in the morning. Wow, that's like dry snitching on people.
Yeah, that's dry snitching. And so basically, what that's basically saying is, when you jumped out the car, all you noticed was the guy standing on the corner. You know what I'm saying? The guy standing at the store asking you stupid questions, but you didn't notice the people that was working in the store or any other people that was intelligent, anybody that gave you a proper conversation. You didn't notice them. You only noticed the people that were at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if I go to the trailer park out here in California, if I go to the trailer park in Fontana, am I going to see some white people out there drinking early in the morning? I think I'm going to see a few white people drinking in the morning. I'm downtown Los Angeles. If I go right outside, it's a whole homeless section down here. I'm for sure I'm going to see a lot of stuff going on in the morning. And it's all different nationalities. You understand what I'm saying? So to specifically go to a neighborhood and just look at only the negative, you know what I mean? And not talk about the positive, like you said, that's a dart. You know what I mean? They're trying to shoot a dart at you.
Right. And another thing is, who started Kill the Indian, Save the Man? That's where all of that started from a long time ago. You didn't took the land, you didn't took hope, you didn't took everything away from Native people and drug them down to being less. And then you get to go to the best schools, the best education, the best everything. And then you expect somebody not to have no mental, spiritual problems going on in this lifetime, any psychological. They're still trying to deal with the trauma you started 50 to 100 years ago. Every person of color is dealing with mental illness, and just now you guys want to talk about, we've been dealing with it.
Yeah.
Some of us been dealing with native spirituality, some of us use Christianity, some Islam, some Judaism, to try to cope with it, that these atrocities were put onto our minds. Some people said, forget all that, I'm just going to grab a drink, because they molested our people, they raped our people in these boarding schools, or we're dealing with the trauma of our ancestors down south being hung from trees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They dehumanized us. They unalived our people because they had no regard. So for this person to make these remarks, how dare you? How dare you even come to the res if you know this? Instead of talking about them, maybe you should take some of that money that you're not paying no taxes on and start a rehab program on the res. Now you look good to both the native nation and outside people.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue what you were saying.
I find that on the reservations and in the hood, mental health places are less and less. Even though it's going up in the rich neighborhoods, and the rich, it's going less and less for us now.
Well,
they don't want to pay people to do them type of services
it's
anymore.
because the rich are the ones with the biggest mental health problem. So you got to understand that a person that's not exposed to nothing else but only what they know, that person is in a mental health situation. They might not know it, but it's actually what's going on. And when you're the person that calls, not them specifically, but when your ancestors caused this situation and now you're in control to fix things, and the first thing you do is jump right on the same people that your ancestors jumped on, because their ancestors had a problem over in their country, right? They had a sick problem, they had too many people problem, and they started kicking people out, just removing people, stealing people homes. That's a mental issue right there. When you have to steal, take, kill, rape, do whatever you can just to achieve or take something from somebody, that's a mental problem with yourself, because you don't have enough confidence in yourself to want to do for self, right? And or to want to help. Okay, it's two ways that you're gonna get out of this mental condition: is helping yourself and wanting to help other people, especially if you became the person that's on top. Now when they come over to America, like what you said, the people that are here, they have what you call group therapy. You understand? So a lot of people are so concerned with, like Charlemagne always talking about my mental this, my mental that, go see my therapist and all. You just can't go see anybody. Your therapy is supposed to be group therapy. It's not, I'm not in a group, meaning a group of people you don't know. I mean a group as a group of your people. It's called people therapy. That's what culture is. So when the natives and the indigenous people already have their culture over here and they're at peace, and you come and they give you food, right? They teach you how to build a home over here. They teach you how to farm over here. They show you, what's plant is, what medicine is, right? And so they're helping you out. These are people who are already mentally stable, right? And if you're coming over here and you've never been nowhere and you're shipped, you know what I'm saying? You lost your ship, you lost everything because you don't know the terrain, and we help you out. Basically, you're in a mental condition right now, a terrible one, where you guys started to eat themselves and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? They're coming over here with a crazy mental condition that's already discombobulated from the jump, and then they enforce it on the people. And I'm sad to say that how much they enforce their will onto the Americas, it's just not right. It's just not right. What they did to the indigenous people and what they continue to do is not right. And the position that they're in right now, they need to just help. But since these people just contain billions and billions of dollars by typing, and they accumulated all this wealth, they just sit there with all these billions, and everybody is just sitting around. You know what I mean?
Why
don't people want to help people? I would never understand that. I don't care what race a person is. I don't want to see no child hurt. I don't want to see no person hurt. I just don't. I don't
Right.
get it. I just don't get it. I'll never get why somebody need to build an airplane with all these jets. You know what I'm saying? You got these planes that just drop all these bombs just to kill people.
Right. And they don't even get the people they looking for most of the time. They get innocent people. And that's a crazy thing. As much technology is, it seemed like they could wipe out the enemy like that, but yet innocent children get hurt. It's almost like it's a number game. This is how we're going to eliminate certain nations, certain people by going to war. We're going to make money off of it by the back end. You know what I'm saying? I see that. You know.
It's always that. And that's
Mhm.
to me, I just call them big kids. You know what I mean?
Right. And then with the native nations that they participate in a war because they had a warrior culture even before the Europeans came here. To let's keep it all 100. Yeah, they fought against each other, but it was understanding. It wasn't to knock out everybody. It was just to get to revenge their loved ones, to equal that out. This war is not an equal game. A lot of times it's more or less like, I'm gonna take 5 of yours out, and then they take like everybody out. You know what we see nowadays in most countries, and then it could lead to catastrophic where we heading right now. You know, like United States is kind of sitting back, but the other nations could pull us into something once again. And they
Yeah.
almost said, I remember years ago when I was watching. It was a documentary. I'm trying to remember Hidden Colors 1, 2, and 3. And they were talking about how certain nations would pull United States in to war. And I was like, nah. And now I see in the Middle East that is going on. Certain nations will pull United States in war. Certain, not to say United States don't ever want to go to war, but
Mhm.
certain candidates from certain groups will.
Well, if you're allies, you're an ally. You know?
Right. And you have
So
to.
that's what the treaties is for.
Right.
You know,
So if they're ever at war.
even when you look at in Jamaica, and you look at the Cujo Wars, and you look at Queen Nani, and you look at King Taki and John Brown, and all the different wars that they had over there, um, the Europeans made it to where, because they have like 5 different treaties that they had to make, to where they had to give these Maroons their own towns and like leave them alone because they were losing. I mean, flat out, they were losing. And so what the European would do is they would pit this group against the other one. So basically pit you against yourselves. And so they would so okay, you went and got your own town and we made a treaty with you that we don't leave y'all alone. But if any of our new slaves that we bring, right, if they run over there and become
All right. Hold on 1 second. Keep talking.
yeah, if they run over there and they become free, well then what we're gonna do is our treaty is broke. So any of our slaves that run over there and become free, you must catch them and return them to us. That's our law that we'll keep with you. I mean, you guys are free, you know, but the other Negroes that run away, you must return them to us. So every treaty that they made with everybody on the islands, they pretty much did that. And so it was another saying like he was saying people war with themselves, and a lot of people like to use that as an excuse. And the Europeans always war against themselves too. I mean, they had a World War I, World War II, where they warred amongst themselves over people's land. They came over here in America initially. We had the French War, we got the Spanish War. We have a bunch of wars on this land here that they were fighting each other to try to control somebody else's property.
Right.
And then, so with that, it's like me and you can fight, right? That's
Right.
okay. Me and my brother, we can argue all we want, but bet nobody else not come in. We gonna both turn on them. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So family
Mhm.
members argue all they want. They family. They have these little things that they argue and bicker about. That's just life. But somebody else coming in and wiping out the whole family. We didn't wipe out the whole family. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So it's normally, if you kill one of ours, we're going to kill one of yours. So
Right.
just like right now over in Europe, they had the one brother that's he's mentally ill, right?
Right.
He's retarded. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? He's special needs, and so he goes out and he kills three young white girls in Europe, and now they find out that, oh, it's a black guy. Okay, all the black immigrants gotta go, right? So all the white people in the streets, they all gotta go. Then come to find out, he's Muslim too. Oh, blacks and Muslims gotta go. You see what I'm saying?
That's
So
crazy.
it's not go get the guy who did the murder, right? It's everybody. So
Hmm.
imagine if the indigenous people thought like that. If each time you did something to us, we just go out and just murk your whole town. We just go
Mm.
get everybody. Or we just had in our mind that we just want to get everybody. It wouldn't be
Right.
no white people around. I don't care how many guns you got. You're not gonna stop some of the stuff that I seen that what our people know how to do. You just not gonna.
Right. Right.
That's
And
the
now,
reason.
and I think nowadays that's why I feel like the government sometimes uses certain ethnic groups against other ethnic groups because they're scared if they everybody united and sat down and said, look, this is what the government did to us. It's us and them. That's why they keep certain things going on. And at first I was mad, what the villains was getting this, again that. But then when I sat down, I was like, this is a government deployed. This is something they're doing to turn people against each other. So nobody could work together against them.
I
So
just
it's
found out 2 days ago that King Leopold never even went to Africa. I
mhm.
mean, this guy is horrible. He is the most horrible, one of the most horrible people ever. He took over all of that land, got all the people fighting in the Congo and all that stuff like that. The same stuff, they're still milking it today, like still today. And
Mm.
this dude never set foot over there. I was
Where
like,
do
what? He's
What
from
do you
Bel.
mean he never set foot? So how to get it going? Just talk mess,
He
wrote
sent
these letters.
missionaries. They always send missionaries. They come acting
Oh,
like they peaceful. They come acting like they teaching God. But really, another new thing I found out when I was listening to one of my elders, he said he went into he's a doctor. They took him into his name is Dr. um Kente Ashante.
mm-hmm.
He went. He was over at doing a lecture at UCLA. He said that they took him downstairs into a basement, and they had over 2,000 um, Yoruba artifacts. Right?
Whoa.
He was like, because he's upstairs giving a lecture and teaching.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, we want to show you something. And they go downstairs and show him more than 2,000 artifacts. And he's like, man, how did you get these? It's like missionaries.
Well, one thing about missionaries, they got this from the Pope. It's not even the missionaries. They got their thing from a Pope a long time ago, the Manifest of Destiny and the Doctrines of Discovery that said we have a right in the name of God and Christ
Hmm.
to take these people who are non-Christians, take their land, enslave them, do whatever we wish to please them in the name of God and Christ. So they already slandered God's name. They already slandered Christ's name. And then the missionaries just carry out the will of the Pope, basically, when it comes down to it.
One target demonstration with the Hyksos, Assyrians, the Persians. They can't do it. You know what I'm saying? The Greeks, they got in. They got
Mhm.
in. They got in, but they came in the same way they always do, peaceful. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We want to learn. You right? And then you teach them and you teach them. But what happened was they was going back teaching and getting killed. Socrates and Plato and all, they don't like these guys. You coming over here teaching that stuff, you think you better than us? Wow. So now they say, you know what? We're just gonna go over there and just take it.
Mhm.
So now they go over there, and then they the only ones that come and stay, the Greeks. See, it's a continuation. So now you got the Greeks there, then the Romans take them out. But what the Greeks do is they inhabit their all of their whatever you find that's most precious to you, we're gonna take it and then we're gonna worship it and use it for our power. The Romans see it, then the Romans come up and they go to the same place. So we're gonna go over there, we're gonna do it too. So they went and did the same thing, and then they start making their popes, what you talking about, because they went in the Nicene Council and it was like, okay, now we're going to figure out how we're going to make our gods to rule, our statues, you know what I mean? We're going to put our imagery over the whole world. With this, we conquer, right? So it's starting way further than just the doctrine of discovery, right? And this is in Turkey. They're over the Eastern Roman Empire. Then it moves over to Italy. Right.
Right. So because
now they're pushing this on all of the Europeans. You know what I'm saying? They push the doctrine, and the English don't like that. You know what I mean? And the Protestants, they're not liking this. You know what I'm saying? The Lutherans and all these guys, Martin Luther and all of them. Right. So they fight against that so they can have their own version of the Catholic Church, and they come up with the anglicized version, the Anglican Church. Right. And so they bring that over here. They come in with their missionaries. Once again, they set up shop. They're like, oh, we holy. Let's show you about our God. And what happens is they know how to talk to the shamans, how to talk to the medicine men, and how to talk to the chiefs, and how to get them in certain spiritual talk that all indigenous people kind of know. And then they can be like, oh, we got this from over here. Look what the Africans, we learned. So what they're doing is they're learning stuff from Africans coming over to America, acting like they're a shaman because they learned some mathematical science, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to bring it to some people who, not saying they didn't have it, they're just on the East Coast. They're coastals. They're chilling. They're on the coast. They're whalers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You go like in the center of the country, then you're going to get to some buildings because they have to build because of the way the weather is. There's tornadoes, it's all type of stuff in the middle of the country, right? Then you start going down further south. Now you got colossal buildings. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not saying those people over there didn't know, didn't have language, or they couldn't even write. It's not saying that. But the majority, no, they're living peacefully. So when you come with all of this new stuff and you just throwing it on them, it's going to divide some of them. It's going to divide. When you come with new, and you bring your women, that's going to divide. Because we've been sleeping with each other for so long, everybody look alike. Now we get to mix it up a little bit and mix our gene up. You know what I mean? It's so much. It's so much to break down and try to break down the people. But the main thing I notice is, it's just me personally. It's something about the African indigenous person that you just can't beat. Let me just say it seriously. Because in Africa, I'm like, how did you do know that the European went there first, right? So they've been over there first. They've been colonizing and hitting them first, right? So I'm trying to figure out while I'm there, how did they try to demolish everything? They got Christian buildings, Islamic buildings all next to each other. And it's like the tradition, man, it's over everything. It's like you can't shake it out of them. You can't beat their language out of them. It's nothing you can do. It's like it's embedded, bro. It's nothing you can do. You can take off all the buildings. They'll still be right there. It's like it's nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do. You bring them over to the islands, and then what they did to the indigenous people in the islands, foul. You know what I'm saying? Foul. But you bring that African spirit over there, and they're gonna fight and keep fighting. You bring them to North America, they're gonna be the only ones that the American government can't beat.
Even to this day,
from the East Coast to down south to the middle of the country, all the way to Mexico.
They're still warriors. You will hear out. There's a story in Mexico about a guy named Yanga Gaspar.
Yanga is my man, very cool. I love Yanga Come on, man.
Yanga showed them he combined both African and indigenous forces and beat the Spanish
It's everywhere.
back.
You have it in. It's in Brazil. They use
Hmm.
they use it in French Guyana. They use it in
Hmm.
Grenada. They use it in Suriname, right? They use it in Saint Lucia. They use it in Trinidad and Tobago. It's all of them. They know they have indigenous mixture, but it's something about that African thing that they got. It's the power that they knock people out with. I swear to you, it's what it is. It's something that you can't
Right.
do. And I'm so
Hmm.
angry of how they were able to do that to not all indigenous culture, but how they just like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Bro, that's foul. How the Arabs did Egypt like that and
Hmm.
Nubia, that's foul.
Hmm.
It's like they just come and all of North Africa, they just come and just take over everything. Like the people
Hmm.
there don't even exist. Same thing
Right.
Americans did, the Europeans did with the indigenous people here, man. I don't like it because I have indigenous blood. But back to what we were saying about the separation, about them creating divide and conquer, right?
Right. That's the game that they always play is divide each indigenous group or each person of colors group up against each other. They give one this, one that. They know it's not fair. They don't give it equally, and then they get everybody mad. Basically, divide and conquer. Even among the native tribes here, you see like if one native tribe is trying to go from state to federal recognition, if they don't do the same way as everybody else, like have a language, because I remember the Lumbee was about to get fairly recognized, and then one Montana Native Nation said that they wasn't a real nation, and they got shot down to just keeping state recognition,
Uh,
basically.
they've been saying that about the Lumbees, about my family, the Wokan, what they call Waccamaws. They've been saying it about the Tuscarora. They said it about all of the eastern tribes in North Carolina and South Carolina, right? And they even try to do it to Florida, but they really can't do that because we all know that history. But they're trying to keep this grip onto them, which you can't, because the history is, yeah, they mixed in with black people and they mixed in with white people. What tribe didn't? Like, what are you talking about? So to like hold that over their heads is stupid. It's really crazy. And they've been living indigenous for at least over 200 years now.
Personally, what I feel like is like they couldn't beat them and they couldn't remove them from their land without force. And since they remained on the land, and that's even here in Indiana too, the Miami Nation of Indiana went several times for federally recognized. Every time they get shot down because they still any native nation east of the Mississippi, maybe a few minus the Algonquins who they got their land through the Catholic Church. But if you just trying to outright get your land, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a fight, basically.
Yeah, but it's like everything's have it's two ways you do it. One, we all know media, right? If you can create enough buzz, right, that's how they bow down. The next thing is just buy it. You know what I mean? And get as much as you can, and then you convert the land that you have into private land, just as we did over here. And it's some modern times now. They respect, out here the police. We have a great relationship with them, and so I don't, and the state in our city. So I don't see where it is that if you bought some land and you practicing your rights on there, that it's your religious rights and ceremonies and stuff like that, where it's a problem. And
Right.
that's kind of where we at right now. And the other thing is we have so many of our people that's divided that we need to have group therapy, which is basically group culture, because culture brings you therapy. If you can live
Right.
out your culture, that's therapeutic. That's the only therapeutic thing that can help you is you living out your culture, not you living every single day like a European.
Got you.
Not it's not therapeutic for us. It doesn't, it's just not therapeutic.
Right. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yeah, and then a lot of our people they put religion before who they are a lot of times. So it's like, okay, that's who they are. And then that divides a lot of people, I see too.
Yeah, that's the sickest thing ever because the how do I say this? There's no such thing as religion. Let me say that really. Um, it binds you. The word is a word that means to bind, right? And binding you to what? If you can't be bound to your own ancestors, to your own heritage, to your own nature, then you're not even practicing a religion because religion is the culture of the people expressed. If you don't know what people you are, then you're not really having a religion. You have hip hop.
Whoa, that's deep that you said something like hip hop. Well, I would never think you would compare it to hip hop, but I do see that there's no unity in hip hop. I got you.
It's not really that. Hip hop is a subculture, and we're using that as if that was our ancient culture. That's what I mean. So hip hop is a good thing, but it's not really our culture. It comes from our culture, but it's not our culture.
Non-culture, yeah, it was something that was made to deal with the stresses and the way of getting back in a revolution against the stresses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And then another thing that it does is it has religion has people outside of themselves. For instance, I mean, let's not be shy about it. We said earlier that the doctrine of discovery. So you literally have Christian priests, bishops, and stuff like that going out writing on who to conquer and also participating in conquering people and taking over their lands and condemning people to hell, condemning people to burn on the stake and all type of stuff like that, right? And then these same people, in the name of their God, burnt your ancestors, killed your ancestors, take their kids, raise you up in the church. You grow up and learn about it, and then put a church on your reservation. Then become Christian natives, right? This is all over the world.
Right. You see that in everything. Like my friend was telling me, like a lot of the native nations in the Southwest, you could find churches on almost all the reses or all the Southwest. They're influenced a lot by Christianity now to the point where it's no longer them. They are more of a Christian than they are indigenous, but some of them blended together. And
They're white.
then but everybody knows you can't be hot, you can't be cold, you got or lukewarm, you got to be in some side. Everybody knows you got to choose which power you want to choose. You can't be in between, but certain people try to, but it doesn't work.
It tells you can't worship God and man. So which one are you going to choose? Right?
Right. That's the biggest thing right there.
Yeah. It's saying in a book, only worship their Lord, the God. So you're only
Right.
supposed to worship their Lord. And so you can't worship their Lord and then have your God on the side. They're not going to like that, even though that's what indigenous people do anyway. I mean, how do you think that the indigenous people still know who their God is? Because the European surely wasn't trying to teach them that, right? Even their
Right.
language, they still have their languages, right? And the languages is going to come back and be revamped.
Right. They're around. The ones that they did knock off, it's still around, like Cherokee still around. Mohawk, some of the people who were the hardest warriors are still around, but the ones who were more peaceful got knocked off. And that's sad, but it is what it is. It's, you know what I mean? No different than what they did in Rome and took over all these other smaller groups. They're just one place after another, just conquering each other and keep on conquering.
In Africa, you're going to go somewhere, it's going to be a storm of bees is going to come. A storm of locusts is going to come. A storm of mosquitoes is going to come. You're going to walk past a place and everybody going to die. And then they're going to be sitting there looking at you. The next guy think he going to come and they just going to die. And nobody touched you. It's like, it's so much stuff that will happen to you when the people is in a right mind that the European don't want. They don't even. It's like they just can't live there.
What about South Africa? Why is the power? How did the Zulus and the indigenous people of South Africa lose to the point where now they are dominated by these people? I'm trying to think
Okay,
of what
like,
these
all
people
right,
Dutch.
this is the it's the same old. It's guns. You know what I mean?
Oh, the
So
guns.
yeah, you're not gonna beat nobody with guns, and you're not gonna beat your evil cousin who just want to murk everybody in the family because his mama got with some nigga from prison. Excuse my language, and that guy came home and raped him. Now he mad at the whole family. You know,
Hmm.
somebody get him a gun. Anybody say anything wrong to him, he shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And then you give give him, make him the leader, and give him a load of guns. See what I'm saying? And then now he
mhm.
got his whole crew of guys that's just like him. They all orphans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, anybody step up, we taking them out. And we got
Got you.
white man gonna give me some more guns. Anybody say anything? So you have that.
Oh, so that's what they're on in South Africa. Because I know there's the
No,
good Dutch part.
everywhere,
Oh, okay.
everywhere, everywhere. When he come and he see one people, oh, you was fighting against them? Here, take this. There you go. That'll help you out. Now they coming back listening to you like, what you want? I want to make a treaty with you. Can we get some land over here? We just want this little bitty bunch. Yeah, y'all can have that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some more because y'all are homies. You know what I'm saying? Then they give them some more, and then what happens? All these ships keep coming, and then y'all we looking from the hill like, man, I thought they said it was just gonna be them, right? And then it's like they just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. You see the boats with the Europeans? We have pictures of how they look in our time. Imagine how it was back then. They just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. You like, Bob, I gave y'all some. Now they like, and then they're warring with the other white people that's there. Basically, the other white people that's here is like, y'all go that way. Go somewhere else. So they go somewhere else, and then they go make a treaty with somebody else. Now you got the British here, the French here, the Spanish over here, the Dutch over here. They just keep coming
Hmm.
and keep coming. Yeah, like yeah, they just keep coming, and
Right.
they just kept coming.
Man, so we had to, some of our ancestors were the ones that got, I don't know, it's like we got uprooted, but in a way we got saved because now I see everything going on in Africa. Even this Liberian said nobody wants to be born in Africa because it's a horrible place, a miserable place. There's no hope. You don't got hope until you come to America. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's false. That's a false narrative that's over there, which is so bad. That's what I got when I was over there. It's like I'm walking around. I'm so happy because I'm seeing all black people with all black stuff. Universities, all black teachers. I ain't seeing no white people. I was so happy.
Hmm.
No offense to nobody, but it's good to be amongst your own. And so, but when they see me, it's just like, oh, America, man, I wish everybody wishing they can go. Everybody thinking you got so much money.
Right.
It's a false dream. They're sold a
Got you.
false dream. The only thing, and then the other thing is, uh, my $1 is 14 of their dollars.
Whoa.
So you actually make me rich. And then black people in America don't know when they leave here, they're actually rich. Just your little $500, your $1,000, like your $5,000. It's you're not 10 times the man. You're like 15, 20 times the man. So, and everybody knows this just when you say where you're from. But back to
Oh.
what you so they like. So now let me tell you the other thing that's a small minute of people. Matter of fact, that's a lot of people there, especially the youth, right? But
Hmm.
put the drum on and watch they grab the stick and know how to do everything in their culture. See, you know your culture. You know the average kid over there knows 4 tribal language, and you speaking to me English. You actually, young man, you could leave. You could actually leave because you know your culture, you know these languages. You're good. So actually, they could leave. It's us who have a problem here, and we'll have a problem somewhere else because you got to start all over, no matter where you at.
Hmm.
No matter where you at.
Hmm.
So where is it best for me to? I mean, this is just like because I want to get to the thing you were saying about in South Africa, right? Because if you check out South Africa, If you punch up South Africa right now, you are not going to see no women in the world stronger than them. You won't see no women clan ever stronger than them. You won't see
So they're more
queen mothers, no clan mothers stronger than what they got right now. They will have about 20,000 girls walk down the street naked because they refuse for you to impose your culture and your fanciness onto us. They are like crazy, not crazy in a bad way. I mean, like they're crazy about their culture. You know, when they bend down and they get ready and then they kick their foot up. Pow! You seen them?
Mm-hmm.
They're always a group of them. There's no guys around. If they do, it's like the guys who protect them or some of their parents. But it's a bunch of girls. They all warriors. They practice warrior stuff all day. You put any women in front of them, they're gonna just run through them and then stomp on them.
So the concept of Amazon women comes from African people in general. The idea of Amazon.
But who are the strong women in America? That was a folk tale when they was talking about the strong women of California. That was a folk tale written in some book by some European guy. There wasn't no Queen Khalifa over here in California. I'm here. They had the pictures everywhere. Now, it might have been some dark-skinned women that was here, drawing a picture of her and then like blasting her up to be like some warrior queen or something like that. Maybe it was one warrior woman over here that was probably handling her business, but they're not telling the truth about her in that story. You know what I mean? We don't know who she is.
Right. It's almost like if she did exist, she's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it did exist, what's the story behind it? How did Yanga exist, but she didn't exist? How is it? Why didn't nobody wrote her?
You got Yanga. You got Kofi, right? Yep. You got the other brother in Panama. I can't think of his name. I got him all written down somewhere.
Oh, I want it because I like to read about slave stories to teach.
If you don't read that, you're going to be totally lost. Even I was like that too.
You know, there was actually 14 rebellions in America that showed that we did not lay down. My father used to tell me there were a lot of slave rebellions. We just didn't take. Go ahead.
Yeah, you just hit you. Now you're getting on it. Hold on, let me fix this. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it because it might be in here.
Or is it 17 rebellions that, you know, both black and indigenous people, we just didn't take slavery well. We fought through it. It's just that every year we're taught, oh, poor us. No, we were fighting. It just didn't the resistance didn't last long. Even in the Cherokee Nation. I know about Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So chronology, I was looking at stuff just in the West Indies. So watch this. You have in 1638, right? You have Christmas General Slave Rebellion. And it's classified as a B. That means it was hundreds of people. Okay. In Barbados, in 1649, they had Surville report by Legond, possibly involving slaves as well as white servants. It's classified as an A, so that means it was a dozen or more people. In 1675, the June Coromante plot, led by Tonne and Kofi. So those are two Ghanaian dudes, or the Coromantes, Ivory Coastal people. It's B, so that means it was hundreds of them, and that's 1675. In 1683, you had the November plot involving mainly African slaves. In 1686, you had the February plot involving nearly all African places. It was a B, so that means it was hundreds. In 1692, you had a C. C means thousands. October Afro-Creole plot by Ben Sambo and others. Right now, we're down to Bermuda. In Bermuda, in 1656, they had a resistance by Spanish Negroes, Lobolo, De Ceras, and others. In 1673, you had Christmas plot by Robin and others. In 1720, I mean, I could just keep going on and on and on and on. It's so many of them. It's so many of them, all led by Africans and Africans that's African indigenous. And they will not leave it out. They're not going to leave it out. They'll tell you where he come from, Africa. They'll tell you that his Indian mama is. They have no problem telling you none of this. But what I'm saying is, For some, where are the Indian revolts? Where are all of the Indian revolts at? The Native American revolts. Like, I'm looking for those. And when I'm finding it's the black person that's native that's pushing the measure. It's hundreds, it's about 100 of these. And it's a lot of them in America. Let me see if I can find the ones in America. If it's on this list. Because I think I have it on another list. Man, I'm still going. There's so many of these, man. It's ridiculous. I can't hear you.
I got to end this real quick and
okay, we
keep
can
going.
do
Oh no,
because we still got to get.
Let's do part 2, Indian revolt.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.